Shalom, shalom. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors goes out to our elder apostles for teaching me the truth. I also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. We do these videos for the elect's sake and only for the elect's sake. Okay. This is Shabai from the GMS Denver. I'm going to start in Ecclesiastes 7 and see where the Spirit takes me. It says, "A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth." Okay. So the reason why a good name is better than precious ointment is because names are important. Okay. That's why we can't just blow off the names of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. You have people saying, oh, well, you can call him this, you can call him that. Well, no, a good name is better than precious ointment. All right. And the reason it says a day of the death is than one's birth is because when you're in the spiritual realm, when you die, you actually know the truth. All right. And this goes really for, a thing that says things at the end of a thing is better than the beginning of a thing. But the day of death, that's why, because when you're born into captivity, in all the captivities we've been in. Every time we've been born into captivity. So we've been learning the ways of the heathen, being brought up in the customs of the heathen, and you got to go through the oppression of the heathen. But when a person dies, guess what? Their spirit, their soul knows the truth. Your flesh is what's holding you back. All right? That's what holds you back. That's why our people can't receive the knowledge, receive the truth because of their flesh, because their spirit knows what's up. Verse 2, "It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that it is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart." All right, the reason why it's better to go to the house of mourning is because your spirit's gonna grow in a time of mourning. Okay, if it's a house of feasting, your people are partying, living it up. There's no growth in that. But if you go to a house of mourning, and right now the Israelites who are on the street corners teaching, we're in a time of mourning, right? The whole nation of Israel is in a time of mourning. But the only ones that know that we're in a time of mourning are the ones who are awake, which are the prophets and the people that believe the Lord's servants, the prophets. Because then you realize, this place is not our rest. You realize, the kingdom's going to be way better for us. See? That's why we're in the time of mourning. Now, are we suicidal? No, we're not suicidal because the Lord gave us a spirit to endure. But the time of mourning, we're not out here acting like everything is just peachy and that like we're trying to build a empire in Babylon. We're not in that spirit. We know that Babylon has an expiration date, so we're not in a spirit of living it up in Babylon and hoping that this is where we build an empire. I talk to people that are like, oh, they're all proud. Oh, my daughter just went to the military, or oh, my son just went to college. It's like, for what? This place is through. This place is gonna be all these prophecies have been fulfilled in these scriptures that have been written, and so we know that the prophecy of Babylon, America, to be destroyed. We know that's a prophecy. So if all the other prophecies that have been told have come to pass, we know that this prophecy is going to come to pass. Us standing on our feet, knowing who we are, understanding the scriptures, that's all prophecy. If that happened, then what makes you think the other prophecies aren't going to happen? See? I'm going to go to Ezekiel 9:4 for a precept. It says, "And Yahweh said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, and go through the midst of the city and through the midst of Jerusalem,